But well, if you've had your fill trading Indian stocks, wait up, because there's going to be a whole lot of opportunity out there with the exchanges, both of them, NSE and now even the BSE through the India INX platform, looking to offer international equities for trade right here in India. Well, how is this going to work, and what are the kind of geographies that INX is looking at? We have Mr. Bala, MD and CEO of India International Exchange. Mr. Subramaniam, thanks for joining in. So, it's a very interesting time because there are already Indian brokers that have tied up with digital international platforms like Stockle Invested. So they're already offering some format of, trading options over there. The NSE is looking at offering depository receipts, and you have your own plan. So tell us what you're thinking of and, how this landscape will change.
So thank you very much. As you rightly said, India INX and GIFT City, the GIFT IFSC, the first exchange, and we are a subsidiary of the Bombay Stock Exchange. Around 3 years back, we created a subsidiary platform under INX called the India INX Global Access, and it got recognition from SEBI. And this was primarily to provide outbound access. So typically in India, we look at inbound access where foreign investors come and invest in India as FPIs. So we said that we'll also create a route through this International Financial Center, where investors from India can also look at investing in international markets. So initially we began by connecting on the derivatives market platforms across various groups like CME Group, Eurex, LME, and so on, and ICE, and so many other platforms. And over the last 2 years, many of our brokers in the IFSC have become our clients using the Global Access Service. And just about a couple of months back, RBI also permitted the liberalized remittance route into the IFSC, and since that we actually started working with international global brokers to see how we can connect local investors from India who want to come through the IFSC route to access all the international markets in the world. So what we have done is the Global Access itself is a platform, and that platform is now connected with a panel of multiple brokers. And recently we added one very large international broker who is now going to give access to almost 130 plus stock exchanges in the world. And this will cover basically 31 geographies. And this doesn't only limit to stocks. So we are not only talking about US stocks, we are talking about virtually all over the place, from US, Europe, all markets in Asia, whether it's Korea, Japan, Singapore, Hong Kong, or similarly we are going to connect to even South American markets and even the African markets. And all of these are available through one single platform, which we are kind of bringing out.
Okay, that's very interesting. So the access is pretty broad that an investor would have. Just a couple of more, FAQs that perhaps retail investors would have, trying to address them. What percentage of the international universe would you be covering? I mean, will it be 100% of all of these markets that you spoke about?
Yeah, I think with these, because these are all probably the regulated markets, so effectively we are almost covering close to about 95% of the world universe in terms of listed stocks, listed bonds, as well as listed mutual funds. And this is a direct access, unlike many fund of funds and many other methods which are available to the retail investor. Here basically we are onboarding the client through a KYC process. Obviously they will go through the LRS screening, that is the liberalized remittance screening, through the AD bank when they bring money into the IFSC. And basically the client will be able to get his own screen, just like the way today he's trading on the Indian markets on BSE, NSE, etc., with his own online platform on the web. So we are going to give him the same kind of experience, but now he will be able to access so many markets, and the liquidity will be directly available. So if somebody wants to buy an Amazon stock, he will be able to directly get the Amazon stock which is listed in the New York or Nasdaq market. So he will be assured of instant liquidity. Only thing is, LRS investors under the RBI end-use rule, they can only do investments, so they can't do speculation or they can't do margin trading. So effectively, derivatives is ruled out for them, and also they can't do intraday trading. So whatever they have to do an investment. They will buy a share, and they will get the delivery, which will be held by the international broker in an omnibus account. But the reports will be available to him in terms of whatever the stocks are which are available in the local depositories of those geographies. And effectively, he can, whenever he wants, he can even sell out from that. And this entire methodology will be kind of facilitated through the Global Access platform of ours. and we'll be giving a portal which will have the global access brand name on it, and the customers can easily get onboarded. So we are targeting not only
just a quick question because Bala, just a quick question because we seem to be running out of time. But there is this 5% tax which is collected at source, right, for LRS. Do you think that would be a deterrent for people who wouldn't have to pay that tax when it comes to a fund of funds?
So on the tax side, see, we are agnostic. Logic is that tax rules are something which the government decides. And basically, we are not there to influence that. But instead of that, if people are looking at a global diversified portfolio, which is not just limited to Indian markets, but actually looking at multiple markets, this is clearly a good opportunity. So we are really targeting probably HNIs, ultra high net worth individuals, family offices. They all can come through this particular route to access this kind of product offering. What we are finally building is just an infra pipe. But we are making it so easy. It's like you are now, everything is available just like the way all these e-commerce companies are actually allowed real goods and real services to be available to you at your doorstep. We are kind of simply providing the entire international market on a doorstep to the investors.
Bala, get your point. Now, I just compare the current infra pipes that we have, because even right now, lots of Indian brokers have some tie-up or the other with international providers for this. One complaint that I came across was that converting Indian rupees to dollars is a time-consuming process. It could take up to 2 days, depending on the bank, and that becomes a little cumbersome. So, how are you going to circumvent that or fix that? And what's going to be the advantage of going in via Gift City versus just dealing with a broker who's in Bombay and who's linked to a US broker via some of the existing infrastructure providers?
So the primary difference is let's look at the other way around. Today there are Indians who become non-resident Indians, and they are earning probably money in multiple currencies across the world, and they bring money into India, and when they convert it, it becomes a non-resident ordinary account. And whenever they trade in derivatives, they will not be able to repatriate the money back to their country in their own currencies or wherever they are working. Imagine the other situation, which is the vice versa. Indians probably don't want to hold all their assets in India. They are looking at a diversification. So they may probably convert some of their actual financial net worth into a dollar holding. And today, under the IFSC, which is basically an extension to India, but declared by RBI that it is out of the FEMA bounds and no capital account restrictions apply. So all local Indians can actually hold a dollar account. So now they have a rupee account in India, they can actually own a dollar deposit account in the IFSC, and that can become their kind of base from which they can look at now investing through such platforms like ours to basically whatever portfolio which they want to build, they can actually do it. So many of them will probably park their money here. So it's not a question of continuously changing the money from rupee to dollar and dollar to rupee back. It's a one-time exercise. Once it is done, then you will have a dollar portfolio which will be available to you in the IFSC.
Okay, just one more short question before we run out of time. Will you be offering ETFs as well? Because ETFs are big, overseas.
Yeah, so everything is available. When I talked about the mutual fund and universe, passive funds, ETFs are very, very large, and this will be directly available through our international global broker. And just to answer the previous question, how we will facilitate LRS, we are working with some of the banks in India who have a presence in the IFSC through their international banking unit. We're trying to work with them in terms of creating a seamless experience, just like the way today by internet banking, by a click of a button, you can do a funds transfer from one account to another. We're trying to create a similar kind of an LRS experience for moving the money from their local branch in India to the international banking unit branch in the Gift City. So if that happens, then LRS will also become as seamless and as easy.
Right, Bala, we're going to leave it on that note. It's definitely a space we're going to keep revisiting. Thank you very much for joining in and talking to us. We need to take a break now.